10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a very, very warm welcome to you to yet another beautiful program organized by Sangeet Foundation. It's a brilliant evening here today, of course, in the UK, and it's only right that we start this evening with a beautiful program with a lovely person and a great human being. We have two such new people with us today. A little bit about Sangeet Foundation before we go on. Sangeet Foundation was started as a personal journey for the founders, Nupur and Joy Thuray, when their eldest daughter was diagnosed with ADD or adult ADHD, clinical anxiety, and dyspraxia. The journey started with denial because I think, something that happens it doesn't happen in our families, or so we think, followed by the acceptance of the problem that, yeah, we understand there is a problem. So followed, of course, by trying to find out how to get a solution to the problem and trying to reach out to people. This progressed to reaching out for help to the medical fraternity, friends, families, seeking out help from people who had experienced this. And thus gave rise to what we call today the Sangeet Foundation. Sangeet Foundation believes in happiness through music and arts. Happiness is a state of mind, feel a layer, and it is about mental health. Sangeet Foundation is also about raising awareness about mental health and aspires to showcase the power of music and arts as a mental health therapy. Of course, today's program is also dealing with someone who is a performer, who is an artist, and we are only superly excited. I'll be over the moon to be collaborating with Manav Utsav and De Montfort University, who are a part of us and a part of this program as well. So we have a short video from the director of De Montfort University, or director of Manav Utsav, who will be, and we're bringing this video to you from Indrani Lahiri. So a short video for you.
Hello, hi everyone. Thank you very much for joining us in the second year of Manav Utsav. So this is the Manav Utsav, or the Human Festival, that we launched last year. Of course, last year our focus was very much around community resilience, and we were trying to look into creative pathways to kind of build that community resilience. And we had really achieved quite a lot, that we are writing at the moment, we are creating, we are curating, and all of that. And that brings us to the year 2 of Manav Utsav. And in year 2, we are trying to connect the community resilience with the community empowerment. And what we are trying to see here is that, although in the last 1 year, many people have lost their jobs, however, many people have found new ways of living a life, new ways of thinking forward. And those are the things that we want to work on. We want to support people, like we're doing mental health training. We're also doing writing workshops. We are doing painting workshops, and we will be doing lots of other technical programs, like where we will be teaching elderly people how to use Zoom or other platforms and stay connected with the family. Although the pandemic, we're hoping that we come out of this pandemic soon, but actually, when a crisis period hits us, this is the time when we start thinking about new ways of living, isn't it? And we try to find out what is not there, the vacuum that's there, the gap that's there, and we want to build back from that. And I think this pandemic has given us that scope to do it. And as Manav Utsav, it would not be possible without the partners, the partners that we are working with, like Sangeet Foundation. We have got Celebrate Our Similarities. We've got the South Asian Health Action. We have got Living Minds. We have got Aikium. We've got Happy Heads. We've got Pahus. We have got Blue Palette. We've got children's stories in times of Corona with us. We have got Radiant Inner Peace, and many more to come, I believe, because what we are trying to do here is to kind of provide an open platform for everyone to come and celebrate life and the human life that we have. Thank you very much for being with us, and thanks very much for joining us on Manavutsav. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Indrani Lahiri, and of course, De Montfort University for collaborating with Sangeet Foundation and, allowing us to do this together. Okay, so let's talk to you about the person who is hosting you today. She is, of course, someone who's new to Sangeet Foundation, but certainly not new to most of you out here. It is Charu Asthana. Charu Asthana is a scientific programmer by profession. Charu always had a keen interest in performing arts. She worked for 10 years, moving between India, USA, France, and UK. Finally, she decided to settle in England, and she left her regular job to take care of kids and community, and restarted her training in Kathak. At present, she is freelancing. She's a freelancer artist and also chairs a voluntary community group which aims to share and present South Asian arts and culture to the local community. It's such an honor and pleasure to welcome on board Charu Asthana.
Hi, Andrani. Thanks a lot for inviting me.
So nice to have you on board, and welcome to Sangeet Foundation. And we are so honored to have you doing this show. Of course, you have the privilege of introducing our brilliant celebrity today. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Charu, and take it away. It's yours.
Thanks. Hello, all viewers. And today we are going to talk with very handsome Sandip Soparrkar, who is an international famed Latin and ballroom dancer, choreographer, actor, model, columnist, RJ, social activist, and a great humanitarian. He holds a degree in hotel management and a doctorate in world mythology from the United States. He has many firsts to his name, most notably being the first single man to adopt in India, and also the first Indian to be certified by the Ballroom Dance Training School in Germany. He is dedicated to philanthropy with his worldwide initiative, Dance for a Cause, where he uses dance, drama, music as a medium to raise awareness of various social issues in the society. He has received many awards, accolades, and honors, both from the government of India and government of other countries. He has served in prominent positions in many national and international organizations and appointed to advisory board of few others. Recently, he has been appointed as the honorary board member of World Human Rights Organization. So please, if I can give a big hand and welcome Sandip Soparrkar on the screen for having a chat with us today.
Thank you so much. Lovely talking with you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks, Sandeep. So, exactly, when we hear about you, we hear ballroom dance and Latina. You are called the ballroom guru of India, and Sandeep is India's first ballroom dancer to bring it on a big stage. Why do you think, Sandeep? Obviously, we have seen in old movies there was, but why didn't anybody take it? Like you may have thought about, like read about it. Why didn't anybody take before you to this big stage, like you did it?
I would say that there were a lot of people doing ballroom dancing. It's not that they weren't, but it's just that I think like how fashion is, so is dance. Sometimes certain dances gain popularity. Sometimes they come down and then they come back again in fashion. You know how things are. You're a dancer, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Some dances will immediately gain popularity and some might just stay back and then they might find their day later on. So every dance finally will get its spotlight somewhere or the other, or sometime or the other. If you look back into our Bollywood films, there were a lot of cha-chas and jives and rock and roll being used way back in the 60s and 70s, Shammi Kapoor, Helen G, they all danced so much of all that. It's just that towards the end 70s, 80s, 90s, it kind of faded and other dance forms came into picture, be it disco dancing or jazz and now hip hop. So many of them started to, show up. But I think because when I came into the industry in the year 2000, I I'm trained in ballroom dancing, so only thing I know was ballroom dancing. So when I had to do something, it had to have the essence of what I have trained in. And that is how I brought in. And I think I would like to thank a lot of my celebrity students and my star students who helped me to promote the dance form, because they had seen their parents do these different styles of dances, and they wanted to promote that, because
Yeah, yeah.
it's my father's favorite or my mother's favorite, you know how it is, and I want to learn it as well, and I want to showcase it to my parents and to my friends that I'm doing something about the classic ones. And ballroom dancing, like the other classical dance forms, you are a classical dancer yourself, you understand what I mean by when I say classical dances. A classical dance will always remain in fashion. It might see its ups and downs and highs and lows, but it will never fade out. And that is what I think, and I believe, and I'm sure about, is about ballroom dancing and ballet. Both these Western classical dances will see the day and the nights, but will always remain around. Other dances might come and go, but
True.
these classical ones will always stay in our mind and in our hearts forever.
True, true. I totally agree when you said that about the students, because art in classical line, the teachers say that my name will only be there if my students' name are there. So very true. I can really relate to that. For my audience, I would like to show a small video of Sandeep performing, and then we'll catch him with more questions on that. So let's have a performance of him. Oh, I was trying to
You
copy
bring
some of
back
the stuff.
memories. You bring back
Yeah.
such wonderful memories. This was a wonderful evening. For the first time, they had put a choreographer on the cover of Films Today magazine, and this was the launch of the cover launch for the media. And the editor asked me, "Will you do a dance?" And I was like, "Okay, let me just put this together." And we had put this dance at that time. So thank you for bringing back that wonderful memory.
You have like yes. So is there a specific is there a specific style, or was it like mixture of different styles, or
So
was
this
it
was
like
more tango inspired.
okay?
What I think was like, you asked me the previous question about films and putting these dances together. I feel that what I kind of brought in was mixing a little bit of Bollywoodization and Bollywood expressions and the Bollywood feel into the international dance forms,
Okay.
which was something more fresh for the audience to see, because earlier they saw a little more of the purity in terms of dancing. But here it was getting blended with a little bit of Bollywood feel and a Bollywood expressions and the whole, the tam-jam of Bollywood that comes along. So I think that's what helped me to popularize the art forms here in the country.
Okay. Usually we see these dances are more dominated by women. So being a male and choosing to go into this art form, I know now there's all kinds of community and genders there. But did you face any difficulty, and tell us about that journey?
Honestly, I don't believe that it's a woman-dominated dance.
No. Like generally, the dance scene in India, like dance scene.
Yes, the dance world generally is more women-oriented and more dominated by women. But fortunately, ballroom dancing it gives equal importance to both man and the woman. I remember my first ballroom dance class when we were studying, and very beautiful lines were told to me by my teachers. And they said, watching a couple dance is like looking at a flower. The woman is the flower, and the man is the stem, the thorns, the leaves. Okay.
Oh, I thought the butterfly.
And if you move the stem in a certain manner, the flower will move accordingly.
True.
So the beauty finally comes from the flower. Yes, the woman brings the beauty into the dance, but the man brings the stability and the strength to the dance. So they both have equal amount of presence in the dance and importance in the dance. In fact, now ballroom dancing is even a part of Olympic Games, Asian Games, SEA Games. And they say that this is the only dance sport, is the only sport in the world where men and women are given equal opportunity at the same time on the same floor.
True.
So I think I was lucky enough to get into something like ballroom dancing, where it wasn't a woman dance, or it wasn't a woman heavy in terms of people. It was equal opportunities for both.
True.
And I'm glad I did it because that's the only way I could, probably be myself.
True. No, you have I have watched, and obviously this was an opportunity for me to understand you, and totally have got that spirit very well out throughout your career and further. I feel that you have got that spirit. So thanks for sharing, because I can say, yes, Sandip has done it. So. Yeah, obviously we're talking about Bollywood and celebrities. You have choreographed in many Bollywood movies, worked with actors, film actors, top models, international celebs. So I would like to show my audience one of your choreographies from this movie called Saath Khoon Maaf. I really like Darling. So let's watch this Darling.
इश्क में ये भी मुमकिन है डार्लिंग आँखों से आँखें चार करने दो डार्लिंग आँखों से आँखें चार करने दो रुको ना मुझको प्यार करने दो डार्लिंग आँखों से आँखें चार करने दो रुको ना मुझको प्यार करने दो बेकैफ है बहारा बेचैन जाने यारा बुलबुलों को अभी इंतजार करने दो डार्लिंग आँखों से आँखें चार करने दो
आना
जिसमें परियां रहती वो शहजादी को तैयार करने दो बेकरार बेकरार है करार करने दो दिल यार इख्तियार करने दो डार्लिंग आँखों से आँखें चार करने दो बेकैफ है बहारा बेचैन जाने यारा बुलबुलों को अभी इंतजार करने दो डार्लिंग आँखों से आँखें चार करने दो रोको ना मुझको प्यार करने दो डार्लिंग आँखों से आँखें चार करने दो रोको ना मुझको प्यार करने दो डार्लिंग आँखों से आँखें चार करने दो
Wow, very unique choreography. Trust me, I haven't seen something like that. We haven't.
You know, you're bringing back such wonderful memories. This is Sat Khun Maaf with Vishal Bharadwaj as the director, and of course Priyanka Chopra and Usha Uthup. It was and Vivan. It was just wonderful to shoot this song. I still remember when Vishalji met me for this track, and he said that I want to keep the authenticity of the Kodasho dance from Russia, and bring it along with a bit of couple dancing. And this is the whole theme of the whole movie, and this is the situation of the song. And can you just put it together? And it was wonderful to work with Vishalji. I've done a couple of films after that as well, but that was my first film with him. It got me my nomination for the Screen Awards as well.
Wow.
And yeah, Priyanka is a delight to work with.
We have heard you saying like because you first did was the movie Zobeda, and after that you started it as a career option. So why was it there a sudden trigger interest, or were you building it up like I will take it as a career when you were learning or doing before your ballroom dancing?
I never expected that I'll become a choreographer in Bollywood films. I just wanted to be a dancer. I wanted to be on stage and perform like most of us want to be. I still remember when I was here in Mumbai, I went for a night out, like most of us would do in our younger days, and one of the assistant directors saw me dancing, and came up to me and said, we are coming up with this film, and I've been watching you do ballroom dancing, and I think can you please help us, and why don't you come and see me tomorrow? So I was like, okay, let me just, somebody is given an offer, you must not say no. So I just went the next day, and I suddenly sat in the office of Shyam Benegal, and I was like, okay. And he was talking to me in front of me, and I was like, now this is something, I think when it comes calling, you must just get the right hints, and not just refuse things just because you don't believe in it. I was honest enough to tell Shyamji that I have no knowledge of choreography. I, of course, have knowledge of dance and how it is going to look on stage, but to be a choreographer, you require a lot more. You need to understand the cameras, the lenses, the lighting. There's a lot more, the editing. There's a lot more to a choreographer than just putting steps together. And he was such a fantastic teacher. He said, don't worry, you dance for me and I will teach you everything else. So I think it was the best free school for me. And Shyam Benegal sir teaching me how to shoot a song was the best part of my life. And working with Rekha ji, with Karishma Kapoor, Manoj Bajpayee, the best of the actors in the industry that year, and even today, I think it was the best opening any choreographer would ever get. And a big film, Zubeda was a critically acclaimed super hit film. Yeah. My first song got my first award. So I think it just it was Sone pe Suhaga, like they say, about what was happening. And why would I refuse it, True. So it just happened. And I'm glad it took off that way because people recognized my work immediately from a big film like that.
So, if you think the other way, had it not happened like in a big way, would you have still gone ahead with choreographies?
I don't think I would have, because I would have not known how to get into the industry. Okay. I have no connection in terms of film industry. Yes, my mommy is Vajanti Mala, but we have never been, not been so much in terms of like recommend me or help me kind of a thing. True. You know how sometimes with we are on cordial relationships like you would have it with family, but never someone who would go out and ask for help. And I didn't have the inclination to become a choreographer either. It just dropped onto my lap and I said, okay, let me just do it without realizing what the results of it is going to be. Only when I saw the results, then I thought, okay, things are coming my way. Let me just take it up. And then I realized soon that I had turned a choreographer.
So Sandeep, you have taught so many people. Oh my God, the plethora, and you have students. So do you think it's easier to teach a non-dancer ballroom dancing or somebody who has already have a background in dancing, or especially a classical dancer? Do you think it was tough with working with them, or was it okay? Like anybody, it was just didn't matter.
I think the most important part to become a dancer is not about dancing, but about having the inclination to dance.
Mm.
No, there's not jazba hona chahiye.
True,
That
true, true.
fire, that fire should be there that I want to learn it.
Okay.
Then whether you are an experienced dancer or non-dancer does not matter.
Sure.
Your age does not matter, your size does not matter, your shape does not matter. What's most important for any student is to have the willingness to dance and not come there by saying, oh, I want to lose weight, or I've been forced, my wife is bringing me here, my boyfriend is bringing me here, or I want to do it because somebody else is doing it. That is
True.
not the reason. Dance
Right.
because you want to dance,
True.
not because you have to dance. And that is
Ah.
when you will become a good dancer. Does not make
Ah.
a difference what kind of backgrounds you come from.
True. Yeah, true. I was just going to ask what is the mental. So you have very clearly mentioned the mental disposition that may take one to be a good dancer. So let's see if Sandeep ji is very strict or lenient in teaching. I'm going to show one of your classroom sessions,
Oh my
workshops.
God, okay.
So I'll see
I
if
think with age, I think I've changed. Earlier, I was very,
oh,
very
you very
strict.
strict. Are you scolding us?
Yeah, initially I was.
Can we have that video? Is it on? Maybe it's not there. So fine.
I was telling you that, when I was younger, I was a lot more strict with my students. And I think now I have become a little more lenient. This is what even my students tell me that. And I say, okay, it will happen. I think it's my age, not with the experience. With my age, I think I've calmed down slightly. So I'm a little
True.
more relaxed in terms of teaching. But
That's
yes, I still insist on rehearsals. I still insist on practicing, because I think that's what makes a dancer perfect. But yes, there was a time I would beat my dancers. I would beat my students.
really.
Yeah, like I would do that because I remember being taught in
No,
that way
that's
as well.
love. So it's okay. It's love. I mean,
And
I'm
I
a mom,
felt,
so I know.
yeah, and I
That's
think when jab maar padti hai na, so that particular step you will never forget.
true.
So I think I was in those zones earlier, but now I have become much lenient with things.
True. Yeah, for my audience, it's all in love. The teachers, it's all by passion. So yeah, since the Sangeet Foundation is like ours is UK based, so I was just going to was thinking about your connection with UK, and I read that the Queen of England and Prince of Wales, they had written personal letters to you for promoting ballroom and Latin dancing in India, and also you and Jessie were invited at the dance. To the dance at the royal wedding reception. So when you have such deep appreciation coming from such high levels, so you also have the responsibility. Do you feel weighed down about it? Like, can you share your experience of doing some performance on UK? But does it come like, oh my
Well,
God, these people are saying now I
yes.
have to do more. So
Well, yes, sometimes, when it is such a big offer, or going to a particular place which is really highly responsible to be, showcasing something. Why only in UK? I would say even so many places in United Nations, when I have danced at the United Nations office, when I have performed, or I have performed in Bhutan when the stamp was being issued for me. These are certain incidences which are very, very special. And I would not say you feel a little stressed, but I think it's overwhelming sometimes that one doesn't expect certain things, and when it comes to you, of course, it just feels thrilled and absolutely excited. And so we want to prepare a performance which is up to that standard. But I think many ways I've learned how to calm myself down in so many ways. Dance has taught me that, to balance my life beautifully, even with the ups and downs that it brings to us in life. I think that's what the beauty of dancing. It teaches you to balance very well, and
yeah,
not just your body, but even your mind.
yeah.
So not to get excited with what's coming, at the same time, not to feel sad about what you're losing.
Mhm.
Because yes, on one hand, if you get appreciation letters from the Queen or performing at big places, on the other hand, you do lose a lot of other work as well. So it's
Mhm.
not just getting one, but even losing the other. So I think ना प्रशंसा से फूलना नहीं, like they say, और निंदा से कभी अपने आप को से जलना नहीं. So I think these are certain things which are very important, and
Yeah,
that's what I think dance over the so many years has taught me. is how to live a balanced life and still be grounded, because we dancers dance on the ground, not up in the clouds.
Yeah, I remember this quote of yours that dancer means dancing on the ground. So we always be
Yeah.
grounded. True. I would like to show my viewers a beautiful performance that Sandeep did in UK and for a social cause, and then we'll talk about his all the philanthropic side and ask him many questions about mental health and dance. So, can we have that video with a very beautiful performance on domestic violence?
What is the meaning of marriage? Have you ever given it a thought? What does the word marriage truly mean? M is for mutual, special love shared by two. A is for assurance that you will always be true. R is for respect shown for one another each day. R is for reliability, to be there without motoring. I is for integrity, to people sharing one life. A is for affection, between the husband and the wife. G is for genuine, a trustworthy, lifelong friend. E is for enduring, a vow to love without an end.
Oh, amazing. It was beautiful. I didn't want it to stop. So, Sandeep,
You know,
like
this
I've.
this performance, yes, was in England by Inspiring Indian Women Association, and Indradhanush children performed for me for this. Uh, Domestic violence, I think, is one of the most beautiful cause initiative that I've taken up for the past few years, and I think it's really touched so many lives. I have performed this all over the world, and not just in UK. And I think the best part about this performance, which I liked, is because I had gone to Egypt to learn this dance called Tanura, which is like Sufi whirling. And in this
Yeah, yeah.
performance that you saw just now, I have taken 734 spins in 14 minutes. So it was through Sufi whirling that the whole story was. So if you saw me behind, I was just spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning, and finally it was in the end. I'm talking to God and saying, let's just stop all this mess that is happening in the families, and let domestic violence not be there, and let's just live a peaceful and happy and loving life. So
So,
this performance is really very close to me. Thank you for showing it.
oh, thanks. I think you have to upload the full version of it. Sandeep, I've seen many musicals of yours, I will call it so, but usually we see in ballroom dancing people don't do it. So how did you get this concept? Like, I understood you had this concept, you earlier explained that you wanted to Bollywoodize, that, get that thing. So was it like, were you inspired from other art forms, watching like, musicals are there in classical or in ballet or, I mean, about the topics, obviously topics are current topics. I mean, these are, you have taken the social cause topic, but the choreography and writing, and how do you come up with it?
So
Maybe
my initial musicals and dance shows were all about mythology. Not really so much Indian mythology, but a lot of world mythology, be Greek or Egyptian or Latin American or African. There's so much of mythology all over the world. So I would make my shows based on that and use ballroom dancing into it. Then after some time, I started using Indian mythology as well with ballroom dancing, which was quite a different aspect towards showcasing Indian mythology stories through ballroom dance.
Yeah.
And then I thought that, let me use social causes. So when I got my first National Achievement Award, is when I decided that I should start doing something in terms of social work as well, because I believe that we dancers are the windows to society. If we don't show people what's happening inside and outside, who else will show it to them? And that's when Dance for a Cause started. And I'm so happy that so many of my friends, and again I would say my celebrity students, came forward to perform with me, to popularize it, or just come for the show, to light the inaugural lamp and just be there. Be it Ravina Tandon, be it late Sarojji, Asha Parekh, Hema ji, Sushmita, so many of them who I have been working with for the past so many years. Tiger Shroff came in. It was really nice to see the younger generation also to come forward and support Dance for a Cause and to help. And it really awakened people.
True.
And later on, I got support of the United Nations, which added a lot more, weight to what I was doing. And we were performing. We are still performing everywhere. And I think that's just it feels honored that something we just started off with a small little seed has now grown up into this huge concept.
So yeah, your dance with the initiative, dance with the cause initiative is more like bringing the young artists, right? Young generation artists to the world.
Not really
But
young artists, but yes, bringing in dancers, younger dancers, but to talk about causes and issues.
okay, got it.
I remember the first show we did for Dance for a Cause was the other day. One journalist was talking to me, and she told me, I didn't know about it, and she said it was the biggest opening for any NGO dancing ever, because we danced the first dance at the World Economic Forum in Davos in Switzerland. That was the first performance of Dance for a Cause, and it was in association with PETA and WWF, where we were talking about Save the Tiger. And I had Bill Clinton sitting in front of me, Nicolas Sarkozy sitting in front of me. Parmeshwar Godrej, of course, had sponsored the event. Now she's no more, but she was the one who took us there. So I think it was something that was unheard of. People never thought that dancing will happen at World Economic Forum.
True.
So it was something completely new, and that's when you get a start and you feel like, oh my God, I didn't even think back. You realize like, oh, that's what we did. Okay, we didn't even know about it.
True.
Because what we were interested was performance karna hai, oh, Davos ja rahe, there's so much of, costume, blah, blah, blah. There's so much music, prepare the script, prepare the music, prepare the choreography, prepare the dance, makeup kya karna hai. All of we are thinking of so much more as a dancer and not thinking that who is going to be sitting in front of you as an audience. That's the last thing that you actually bother about. Only when you come up on stage, you realize, oh, so-and-so was sitting there. Or sometimes you don't even realize it. You see it after the performance, somebody tells you, so-and-so was sitting in our performance. So I think it's some late reactions happen in life, I guess, but it just makes you feel wonderful after it's over.
So you have been like on board of so many organizations and so many invited, and also you're today associated with Sangeet Foundation. I was just wondering, like what do you look in the ethos of an organization when you choose one to be on their board? Does it deal with your personal thing, or if you feel okay, maybe it's not going personally in your line, but yeah, it's a big social cause which you should go maybe against, little tangential from your ethos. So what do you look for in an organization?
Honestly,
or in any initiative?
Honestly, there are so many organizations around in the
Yeah,
world, so
that's what.
many, yeah. And yes, I would definitely agree with the fact that a lot of them send offers to join them. But for me, what's most important, I see first of all, is how authentic they are.
Yeah,
Because a
okay.
lot of them, I would like to confess and say that maybe are not always authentic.
Yeah.
They just put a facade on the face by saying we are doing this, we are doing that. Sometimes they are not doing it. So what first thing I see is I actually go and check as to what they're doing. So because if I'm going to put my name into it, and if it's going to get the ball rolling for them or even for things around them, it's important that I put my hand into something which is in the right direction, which is not faffing around in terms of just because they want to be in the news or they want to do something or maybe earn extra money or get more sponsorship. I don't want to kind of get to such kind of associations or organizations. So I firstly see what actual work they're doing. And second, I should feel for that organization.
Yeah.
So when you meet a person, you do connect with them and you realize whether you want to be with them or you have to be with them or you don't want to be with them. So if I want to be with them, I definitely join hands with them and I try my best to do whatever I can to popularize them with all my other work that I'm doing. And I'm glad that fortunately till now, whatever I have been doing has gotten a great momentum and people have appreciated it in so many ways. And I sometimes don't even realize it because I'm very reclusive. I'm always sitting in my house doing my own thing. And when I go out, somebody tells me, "Oh, this is what you did, and that's what came on the news, or that's what came out in the papers," and I didn't even read it. So I was like, I don't even know about it. But I think most important, if anybody wants to join any organization, please check for the authenticity. That's most important. And secondly, check with the people that you're working with, because if they have a heart, they will do good job. But if they're putting the mind to it, sometimes for NGOs, the mind does not work. Heart works better.
Yeah, true. I agree. Yeah, thanks. I totally agree. Since we were talking about Dance with a Cause, we had kept a video. I don't know if we have it to show around. Do we have? We'll just wait. Dance for a Cause video link. Maybe you don't have. So yeah, now
5, 6, 7, we go. 1, 2, 3, and side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Basic. 1, 2, 3, and turn it. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, and turn front and forward. 2, 3, 4. Side, 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 side. Forward, back, forward, and turn it. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. And 1, 2, 3. Side, side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Forward and back and forward and back. Done it. Shake it up, and face front. Forward. Very good. Great. Side, 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 side. Basic. 2, 3, and 4. And turn it. Shake it with 1. Your dress is so meant for it, huh?
This was a scary workshop for me. There were some 450 women, and I was the only man. I was like, where have I reached? But
so you would have felt
very
that.
memorable.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen to me? But it was very interesting to suddenly be with only women, and there was nobody else except me. I think it was privilege, at the same time very scary.
Okay, Sandeep, something which is also very close to my heart was when I came to know that you were the first single man in India to adopt in 2007, while you were yet unmarried, and child called Arjun. Because after Sushmita Sen had adopted my personally, I wanted to adopt, but I was 22 at that time, 23, and they said, no, not for you. The organization said not. So you take us through your parenting journey and share any mental challenges that may have come up for either of you, yourself or your son Arjun.
Well, yes, I faced the same thing when I went to ask for adoption. I was told, no, you cannot adopt, but I fought. And I said that, no, I need to. If I want to, why not? And yes, to my surprise again, I realized later on that I was the first single man in the country to adopt. And I was like, I didn't even expect that to ever happen. So, yes, it was a tough time, because to fight with the constitution is a little difficult. To fight with the law is quite tough in India. It's, lots of not very straight people. So it gets quite difficult to get your way out. But fortunately, I would thank Renuka Chaudhary ji, who was that time the child and women minister. And I happened to meet her at a couple of occasions because of my dance again. and I personally requested her to help out in my case, and she was very forthcoming and she helped me out. And that still took me 4 years, yeah. So it took me 4 years to get my papers cleared, and then Arjun came into my life, and it has been a fantastic ride since then. He is 16 now, and I've seen him from a little boy to this young man now. So I think, and as a parent, I think we all learn all the time. You can't say I'm a great parent because none of us are great parents. We always uh, have our not so good sides and some very emotional and beautiful sides, and I think I have faced the same thing. But what's best about is that he brought stability into my life. He brought more ठहराव, कहते हैं ना, जिंदगी में ठहराव आता है.
Yeah.
So that's what he brought for me, and I think apart from that, what he brought was buckets and buckets and buckets and buckets full of love, and I think that's what showered me and made me who I am today.
So for you, they were not much of challenging. I just felt it was a very smooth journey.
No, I think yes, challenges are there. Being single is and looking after, especially with a lot of travel that I have, it is difficult. So for a very long time, he would travel with me, and I would take him with me all over the world. Wherever I would go performing, he would come with me, and he was a very sweet child. And I say, "Papa is going to dance now. Sit quietly," and he would sit quietly and watch the whole
True.
show.
Same. Yeah.
So, but I think after class 5, it became a little difficult because I could not make him miss his school anymore.
Yeah.
And his education was also getting important. So I thought now it's time for me to balance it a little better. My parents helped me. My then wife, now we are divorced, but my then wife also helped me a lot. So it really kind of got a good balance because of my family support. And now I think because he's independent, it is different. It's much easier. I can travel and he can still be alone sometimes. And now he even wants to travel with me because he loves to travel as always. So it's become much easier.
Yeah, obviously. So Sandeep, also we have read so many articles I've read about, which you have written, and you have talked a lot about mental health and dancing, and we understand that mental health can affect all age groups, and it's extremely important that we recognize and offer some support in it. So, how does dancing help to overcome this stress and depression? Like, from your angle, like if you want to offer dance as a therapeutic uh, approach, like look at dance as a therapeutic approach, so how do you think?
I believe that dance is a protection that we all have with us. We just have to enhance the protection. It's like the Lakshman Rekha. Till the time Sita was inside Lakshman Rekha, she was protected. She was safe. जब तक अंदर थी, सुरक्षित थी. It's like the कर्ण का सुनहरा कवच. Till the time वो कवच था body पर, till the time he had the kavach, he was protected. When he gave it away, he wasn't. It's or in our, if I don't talk mythology and if I talk about our environment, it's like the ozone layer around the earth. It protects us. Yeah. And it depends on us as to how much we enhance it, how much more protection we give it. And the more we put it in our lives, it helps us to balance it. It helps us to clear our thoughts, to clear our minds. It helps us to stay fit and healthy. Of course, in today's times, build good immunity, which is very important for all of us. Any kind of negative thoughts which come to us, especially in today's times because of death, so many deaths happening, people falling sick, money issues, so many issues. It just helps you to unwind and to relax and to just let go. Like when you are dancing, you transcend into another world completely. And that transcending into another world is what relaxes your mind, relaxes your body, and somewhere relaxes your soul as well. And it only will happen to you. You're a dancer, and I'm sure you'll agree with me. It only will happen to you if you embrace dance in any possible way and in all possible ways. It doesn't have to be a Kathak which you're doing. It doesn't have to be ballroom which I'm doing. It can be any dance form. It can be a folk. It can be classical. It can be Bollywood. It can be hip hop. It can be anything. Just put music And if you dance for yourself, just 15 minutes a day, and submerge yourself in the beauty and the magic of dance, you will always remain happy. Because those 15 minutes are going to be you connecting with yourself, and somewhere I believe you connecting with the divine, who will bless you to just remain always positive. And most of us don't realize this importance of dance. We feel dance is about entertainment. Music lagaya, maze masti kiya, and that's what dancing is. For some of us, like you and me, it's education. Learning history, learning mythology, bringing it on stage, whatever. But there is a lot more other sides to dance. There is entertainment, of course. There is education. Then there is something called as evoking thoughts inside you, which as a teacher like you are right now would understand that how it makes you start thinking of things, thinking of stories, thinking of scripts, thinking of what music, right? So it's evoking various thoughts in your mind. And then it evolves you, because it brings that change inside your body, inside your mind. Like I said, it calmed me down as teaching, things, it evolves you in different ways. And finally, what happens with dance is the enlightenment which it brings to you, which I think very, very few people would achieve that in their life. But these 5 E's of dance is what makes dance so magical. And most of us get stuck in that entertainment zone of it. And if I talk about my dancing, which is ballroom dancing and couple dancing, people think, oh, it's very frivolous. Let's have a drink in a hand, go to a nightclub, ladki ghumao, ladki patao, have somebody in your arms.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. But yes, it is. I'm not denying the fact it is not. Yes, it is. It's a great way to have a woman in your arms. And I have done that as well. It's absolutely fine. But there are steps and stages of dance in everybody's life.
Yeah,
very few get out of the clutches of entertainment. Many of us as teachers go into the other zones. And I think that's what dance does to us. And if you just, like I said, put 15 minutes of music and dance it, you will realize no coronavirus will affect you. And even if it does, the repercussions of it will be much lesser, because you will remain a happy person.
True.
And I don't know how many of us believe in it, but I believe it has magical powers. And I've seen it in my own life. I remember when I was going through my divorce, it was not a very easy decision for most of us. Separation is never easy for anybody. Dance helped me. It helped me to stay happier. It helped me to stabilize myself. I wrote this beautiful story on the life of Cupid. I did a show also for it. I performed for it in different places. It really made me think within and to understand myself, and therefore come up with something very interesting as well. So I think dance really helps in so many ways. We don't realize it.
No, totally agree. I just want to recap for my own thing and maybe for audience. So it is entertainment, education,
evoking,
evolving, and enlightenment. Wow, I like this 5 E's of dance. Now today I was just going. That's it.
Thank
no,
you.
really, I totally agree with the what you said. But so just in the same thought, have people come to you who had mental health issues, or did their parents brought okay, do a therapy, or did they, after attending your class, did they come and confront to you, I had this problem and now I'm feeling better? Have you done did you have like a
yes
case?
Of course. I have, and many times I do have my doctor friends who are into helping people, sending people to me for dancing. I still remember, I will not take the name, but I still remember this couple coming to me, very affluent industrialist family of our country here in India. Everybody knows them. They came to me and they joined my dance class, and after a few days I saw them coming in different batches. And I was like, okay, maybe there's something wrong and they don't want to come together, so I just kind of let it be. But in the middle, something happened and I had to bring the batches together, so I brought them back together after a gap of almost 2-3 months. And one day the man comes up to me and says, sir, we were going through this divorce, and that's how we came to you, because we were told by the counselor to come and dance together.
Wow.
We came, we joined the class, we realized we were fighting. So we went our ways in terms of classes. But today you brought us together again. He held his wife's hand. He went on his knees and he said, "You know what? I don't want to divorce you. You are one of the most
Oh,
beautiful women I've
wow.
ever in my life met." So I think
Yeah,
dance did its trick. It wasn't me.
true.
It wasn't
Yeah,
me. I was just teaching the same dance to everybody
yeah,
in that class.
true, true, true.
So you see how dance affects
Yeah,
everyone differently.
true. Yeah,
So we don't realize it, but it has its own way of working in our body. Like we don't realize
true.
when we are breathing, we don't realize when we are blinking, we don't realize when the blood is
Mm-hmm.
flowing in our body, but it
Mm-hmm.
is, and
Mm-hmm.
it is dancing.
True,
Our breath is dancing, our blood is dancing, our eyelids are dancing, we all are dancing.
true, true.
We don't realize it.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's what dance does when you are in a class or when you are learning or when you're just dancing. And I think
true.
I would maybe talk about my dance here and say ballroom dancing has got great connection with a couple,
Yeah, yeah.
because many of us don't know that couple dancing is about the 7 vows of our wedding. So whether you call it
Ah,
Saptapadi or you call it Sat Fere or you call it 7 vows in Christianity,
true.
we have 7 basic postures in ballroom dancing
Ah,
which correlate to each of these vows of our wedding. So
wow.
they tell couples that, that's why they say in Christianity, you have your first dance after the wedding.
Yeah, yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Or in our
Mm-hmm.
Sangeet ceremony nowadays, the bride
Yeah,
and bridegroom do a dance together.
dance. Yeah. Mm.
What is that dance? That dance is not doing Bollywood dancing. That dance is to relive your 7 vows, not just once today. Because when the Pandit is saying his Sanskrit lines or his
Uh-huh.
priest is saying his English lines, we are so
Mm.
excited about the wedding and our clothes and our people that we don't even realize what we have
True.
spoken about or what
Mm-hmm.
promises we are making to each other. But through ballroom dancing, you will learn to live all those 7 vows, not just now when you dance,
Wow.
but each time you step on the dance floor.
True.
So, yes, it is a way to pata women. It is a way to have a drink in your hand, but there is lots more meaning to that.
Very depth. Yeah, yeah,
Somebody in
yeah.
your arms is a lot of meaning to it, and not just holding somebody. That hold makes a lot of meaning, and not
True,
just
true.
touching
Yeah,
a body.
true, true. Sandeep, really, I'm just thinking if we all like our parents were educated like this, I think the kind of little prejudice which they had, like, or jeopardizing many of the kids from learning it would have gone, because this makes it a
I agree.
totally different angle to it, to this. And I think you're really very well apt called the ballroom guru of India. I mean, honest, I think it's
Thank you.
well deserved. So lastly, about the COVID, before I end our session, like, what challenges came to you during this COVID lockdown, and how did you cope with it? I'm more talking about not the classes, not the logistic aspects, but more the internal mental aspects for you or your students. Because so, and how did you like guided them, or you yourself coped with it?
Well, initially, it was very exciting for me, I would say, because I happened to spend time with my family, which I had never got in
Sure.
so many years. My
Yeah.
parents my father said he was stuck in Bombay with me. But I think because since the time I moved out of my house to take up dancing more seriously,
Mhm.
I hadn't spent time with my parents at all. Just maybe a
Mhm.
weekend, a day or two, and that was it.
Mhm.
But here,
Mhm.
for months, we were together and sitting in my balcony looking at the sunset, and we have a sea facing apartment, so just looking at the sunset and the sea, it was so beautiful. And after some time I realized that I was missing my dancing. I was missing my
Mhm.
moving my feet. So I was talking to my students and they said, why don't we do online dancing? And I was like, no, I have never done that before in my life. It's a new medium completely. And so I thought, but let me try. And I think it taught me so many things. My son taught me to use Zoom, to use StreamYard, like we are talking with you today. So many new things I learned through this pandemic. Of course, a lot of deaths did happen in my family as well, but dance kept me happy. I've also had COVID myself. And
Mhm.
I remember I was sitting in the same room. This is my room. I was sitting in my same room with fever, but I was still taking my class because I was like, I can't do without my dance. So it did teach me so many things personally.
Yeah.
And it brought me closer to people from all over the world. Today I'm talking with you only because of COVID. If it wasn't there, maybe I would have never met you also, you know. So I think this whatever happens the right time. Always happens, you know, for a reason. Imagine this pandemic hitting us in the 1980s when there was no Wi-Fi.
Oh my God, yeah.
What would have happened to all of us? So whenever it comes, I think whatever God does is always at the right time, at the right place, like they say. And I would say it taught me so many things. And you know, earlier I would not even be on my phone so much, but it now taught me how to use my social media. You know, so many more things which I wasn't aware of and I wouldn't bother about. But today I am concerned because I think the world is moving towards a new direction, and we all need to live in that new direction.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Sandeep. Really, there's so much to take from your interview for everyone. And I hope everybody benefits from this talk. So dance the way to perfect mental, physical, and emotional health. Just a last question, Sandeep, you have to tell us how you stay so fit. And is it just genes or do you do something? No, you do something. Because you have been model, so I thought maybe he was maintaining. Or is it just genes? Huh?
It is L'Oreal color number 3.
No, not that. No, just the health.
I would just say it's dancing because
Dancing.
4 hours, 5 hours a day, I'm still dancing. So I think it just keeps me the way I am. It's just my art form. Okay. And you are a dancer. You'll agree with me.
Okay. No, but yeah, because you're so happy person. So maybe, mentally, I agree. Maybe we all have to learn like that. Whatever you've gone through, still you've always been cheerful all throughout.
Dance really teaches us always to be happy because dance brings happiness into our lives.
True. So
for everyone who's listening to this conversation of ours, please dance. Embrace dance in any possible way. If not dance, any art form, be it music, singing, dancing, painting, cooking, gardening, whatever you feel is creativity and is bringing happiness into your life, into your mind, do it, embrace it. Don't just leave it for another day because you never know when the other day will come or not. Especially in today's times, you never know if it will come or not. So just do it. Before we close, I must give you this very beautiful incident of one of my students. She was in her beginning 70s. And on Guru Purnima, she wrote a beautiful letter to me. And she said, when I was a young girl, I wanted to dance. But my parents said that girls from good families don't dance. So I was not made to go to a class. When I was 18, I got married. I told my husband, let's go and learn ballroom dancing. He said, time nahi hai. I don't have time. Why don't you go and do it yourself? And I was staying in joint family. I could not take that effort to go and learn on my own alone. I had 2 beautiful children. They wanted to dance. I took them to a dance class. And I said, can I dance with you? So they said, how can we dance with mama in the same class? For 20 years, I kept taking my kids to dance class and sat outside. Today they are married. My husband is no more. And I want to do what I could never do. So just learn from, I think this letter opened my eyes and said, just do what you want to do. Don't worry about anything. 15 minutes, 20 minutes for yourself, for your love, for whichever art form you have. Embrace it and see the benefits.
On this note, I will bring up a video of yours with this very energetic and beautiful 98-year-old dancer. So yes, to inspire everybody that age is just a number. Can we have that video? And then can have Indrani ji come on screen and Wow.
Oh my
Amazing.
God. Oh my
Wow.
God.
Yeah.
You know, this lady, Tao Porchon Lynch, she's the world's oldest ballroom dancer. She died last year at the age of 102.
Wow.
Wow.
And she would dance in her high heels and short little dresses that you saw just now. And
Yeah.
you will not believe how she passed away. She called up an instructor in New York in the night and said, "Tomorrow I'm coming at 11 o'clock for my dance class." And he said, "Yes, you're most welcome. Your class is on." But she just didn't reach there because she went to dance to another planet.
Wow.
But that was Tao Porchon Lynch. And I think I'm privileged to be even holding her hand and being on the same floor with her.
Absolutely beautiful, Sandeep. The stories. I hope that before I'm 98, or if I ever live to be 98, I have a chance of one dance with you in my
How
lifetime.
sweet, how sweet. We
That
all hope
was
we'll keep dancing away always.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I put the title, Dance Away Your Blues, because I absolutely agree, especially after all the stories between the two dancers over here. It's so true that, you can actually dance away your blues, and especially, the stories that you told us, their anecdotes, uh, brilliant. I mean, there was so much. We read a lot about you, Sandeep. Charu, I mean, of course, she did a lot of the studies as well. We read a lot about you, but there's so much more to learn from you in every possible way. My God, that was one enlightening session, honestly. But thank you
Thank you.
so. Oh, one question that came up. Most of the questions were, but one question I don't even. It's a frivolous in a way. But one of the questions that came up was that any celebrity that you could tell off for being a bad dancer. Is there anyone you could tell off?
Yeah, of course. I remember my first film itself, Manoj Bajpayee. I
Oh
told him,
yeah.
I said, "Sir, how can I make you dance with Karishma Kapoor? आपको मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी और ज़्यादा." And he was like, "और मैं कितना करूँ?"
He's
till
he's a
today, till today when
self-proclaimed
I
person.
talk with
I
him,
can't dance.
till today when I talk with him, he tells me the same thing. तुमने मुझे नचाया जो कोई नचा पाया मुझे. So I think it feels nice to have artists who know that they're not so good, but they work hard for it. I think that's what makes them a true artist because they're willing to put that effort for it.
Oh, absolutely. It is to be able to acknowledge that you can't and you would like to try is, I think, a very, very big thing.
Yeah, I
And
think also I would say Sanjay Dutt. I was doing this song called Sholo Si from a movie called Shabd with Aishwarya Rai and Sanjay Dutt. And first thing he met me on the
how do
rehearsal
you
hall and he
Aishwarya Rai
said,
and Sanjay Dutt dance together? My God.
yeah, and he said, "मुझे कुछ step mat dena. Don't give me any steps. Everything to her. Everything to her." So if you go and have a look at the song, you will realize that yes, everything she is doing, and he is just standing there. But I think it's also his personality which helps him to be that way, and he doesn't have the image of a dancer as well, so he plays that image.
Yeah.
He's actually
Yeah.
quite a good dancer, but it's just that he doesn't want to expose that side of his.
Oh, is he? Okay. I would have wondered
No,
why
no.
any try and get Aishwarya and Sanjay Dutt to dance on the same.
It's a nice song. You must have a look. It's called Sholo Si from the film called Shabd.
Yeah,
Okay.
Shabd.
But thank you so, so much, Sandeep. But as you said, I need to let the viewers know. I just had to send one email to Sandeep and he read it and he was saying, Rani, yes, let's do this. And I mean, I can't even tell you how grateful I am that you actually, accepted this and allowed us to interview you. And I think we've done such a brilliant job. I mean, you've always been doing it. And today, what you came up with there was such enlightening thoughts. We never look at
Yeah.
the things that people have to really go through, and we have done so many artists, and I must say that when you actually talk to a celebrity and when you talk to them, you realize that their journey is just as difficult as anybody else. And it's so easy for us to sit outside and say, oh, he's a celebrity, she's a celebrity,
Mm.
and it's laid out for them. And you've just added to that as well, that you've been through your journey and you've worked your way to be in the place that you are, and truly the ballroom guru, and
So, yeah.
guru in so many ways. So thank you so, so much, Sandeep. I mean, it's been such an honor and pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you for getting
And
in touch with me, and thank
Thank
you
you.
for having me to chat with you. And it's just a wonderful conversation we had, and a lovely evening for me, and a great afternoon for you, I hope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, a brilliant afternoon, Sandeep. Of course, I will stay in touch. The only sad part is you don't get away from me now. That's the only sad part of the whole story.
It'll be a pleasure.
It will say that, of course, whenever you come over here, you're doing any
Yeah.
performance, please allow us to promote those as well. And, so that, of course, we can get more people to come and watch your show. And
It will
hopefully,
be lovely.
whenever you're here, and
And maybe we
I'm
should
sure
we should collaborate and dance together, Charuji.
Yes, yes, for sure.
It'll be lovely.
I want to do one before I'm 98 with you, sir, as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's a retirement plan. I love
If you can
storytelling. That's
because
what attracted
you
me to
made
Kathak
Manoj Bajpayee
storytelling.
dance, I'll do a little bit better than Manoj Bajpayee. I promise I won't let you down.
No, no, are you hardworking like him? He's very hardworking. Mm.
Okay, let's have that conversation for another day.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course.
Thanks, Sandeep.
No,
Thanks,
Thank you
Indrani.
so
And
much. Thank you.
thanks,
Thank
Sangeet
you.
Thank you so much,
Foundation.
Charu. Thank you, Sandeep. And of course, to all our viewers out there, please go back and watch the whole video once more, because there's this interview. There's so much to learn. Truly obliged, Sandeep. And thank you so much, Charu, for this wonderful, the session
High
that
five
we
for
had.
dance.
High five for that.
Yeah.
Okay, and the five moves that we need to learn.
Okay. Okay.
We take that away with us. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
everyone. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.